Everybody loves Squid Games. Well, at least the original TV show, not the weird game show that Netflix tried to do for some weird reason. Well, if you remember right after Squid Games, I feel like we got a bunch of Squid Game inspired games or just game modes in games that have like user generated content. Well, today we're going to be talking about another game that might have a little influence from Squid Games, and that game is the new indie parkour thing called Lasers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read the store description for the features, because it really gives you all you need to know. So these are the main features that this game points out. Dodge lasers or die trying. One wrong step will cost you your limbs. Online multiplayer for 1 to 10 players. Race against the clock to be the last player standing. Over 20 purposefully tough handmade levels to beat. Full of thick gym bros and girls to play as. Unlock emotes and outfits by increasing your Halo rank. And dark pounding synth music. This is Lasers. Honestly, that features list gives you all you need to know. So basically this is like a parkour style game where you have to get from the start of each stage to the end, and depending on the specific stage, you might have like a rotating platform, you might have platforms that fall or move, and the big, selling point is you have these lasers that if you even touch in the slightest will chop off your entire leg. And so this game actually is surprisingly gory. Now, unfortunately, the movement is pretty clunky, which makes the whole premise of the game kind of frustrating to play, because playing a game where you need precise movement to avoid the lasers and to do all the jumps with movement that feels a little bit unresponsive just is kind of frustrating, but here we are. So basically there's like one game mode you can play. You can either do private games like with friends that you invite, or you can search for a public game, however you can't search with your friends. There's also quote unquote single player, but that's just playing the levels by yourself. So what happens when you load into one of these games is there's going to be 5 stages, and each of these stages will randomly pick one of the, I think, 21 levels that they have in the game. And the difficulty of these levels is all over the place. Some of them aren't too difficult, and some of them are like insane to the point where like I don't think they're possible, or at least I was far too bad to get to the end of them. To quote unquote kind of beat the game, you have to get to the end of all 5 stages, with each stage having a set amount of time. So if you end up getting killed by a laser, you don't instantly lose, you actually have the whole timer to get to the end, and you can respawn and keep trying the entire time. Now if you don't make it to the end of a stage before the timer, that's when you get knocked out, and then you can stay in the lobby and watch the rest of it play out, or you can back out and queue up for a new game. When you finish a level or when you're knocked out, you turn into this little monitor and you can kind of fly around and watch what other people are doing, and that's pretty much the game. If you complete all the stages and you win, you'll increase your Halo rank, which will allow you to unlock new characters and cosmetics and emotes and all that good stuff, or you can pull out your wallet and you can buy them. And some of these skins are actually like kind of ridiculously overpriced. Some of them are like $8 or $9, and like just looking at them, I mean, you're not really getting much. I mean, the feature list isn't lying to you. It's basically a bunch of gym bros and girls in gym outfits. And funnily enough, one of the main emotes is twerking. So every pregame lobby is just a bunch of people twerking. So this is quite the video game. Now, I'm not going to say this is a horrible game. I did play for about an hour with some of my friends, and we did actually have some good laughs. But I think that was more the fact that I was playing with my friends than maybe the game itself. I don't think this is a game that I would recommend playing by yourself, but it is free. So if you have friends and you want to mess around for an hour or two, the install size is pretty small. You can hop in, probably have some good laughs with your buddies, and then probably close it and get your fill and never play again. Who knows though, maybe they'll add more content. I feel the fact that all of the stages and levels have the exact same gimmick, which is basically just jumping and not getting hit by lasers, is what makes the game get old so quickly. But I mean, the game is called Lasers, so I don't know how you change that. It really feels like you're playing Fall Guys, but instead of having a wide variety of different minigame style gimmicks, there's only one, and it's getting from the start to the end and not getting hit by lasers. And so if you just took Fall Guys, you made every level have the same gimmick, and then instead of making it, targeted toward kids, you target it toward people who want to see people get dismembered. and there you go, that's Lasers. Now apparently the developer behind this game actually has made some pretty well received games. The developer Straight Back Games has a game called Devour, which I've never personally played. It looks like sort of a Phasmophobia style game, but it actually has really good Steam reviews, and it seems like a lot of people actually played it. And looking through all of their games, it seems like this is a developer that does horror games fairly decently. That seems to kind of be their shtick, and maybe this one was a little bit too far of a departure, or honestly, it feels a little bit just thrown together. It has this funny line in the description where it just says, "The game was created for fun by a tiny indie studio. If you enjoy it, please show us your support and we'll continue to work on it." So it kind of gives me the vibe that maybe they just kind of threw this together because they thought it was fun, and if it manages ways to get a player base, maybe they'll add more to it. And if not, oh well, maybe they'll go back to working on whatever they were working on before. So that's Lasers. If you check it out, let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.